Hello dear students of class 10th, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are fit and safe. Students, in this video, I shall be continuing with the 6th chapter from your geography book, that is manufacturing industries. Students, in the previous video, I explained about the steps to be taken to conserve our environment, to decrease industrial pollution. I explained several steps that can be taken by the industries, taken by the government. Now, in this video, I shall deal with the last topic of this chapter, that is NTPC. Now, what is this NTPC? The full form of NTPC is National Thermal Power Corporation. Now, why am I explaining you this topic? What is the need of explanation of this? I have already explained you about thermal pollution. Then why am I explaining about National Thermal Power Corporation? I am explaining you this topic because this is an ideal example. Ideal example of what? Ideal example of the steps that can be taken. It has taken the steps, the necessary steps in order to conserve the environment. Not only this industry has grown, but it has also taken several steps to manage, to preserve the natural environment and the resources. You know students, NTPC, this has ISO certification for Environment Management System, that is EMS. Why this has this certification? Because this has taken proactive steps for preserving the natural environment and resources. In the last video we have talked about several steps that has to be taken. But this industry, this has actually taken those steps to preserve our environment. That is why we are dealing with this topic. That is why it is important to study this. Now students, we will discuss that what are the steps that are taken by this NTPC. So the first step is adopting latest techniques and upgrading the existing equipment. See, first of all, we need to adopt the latest techniques and upgrade the equipments, whatever we have, the tools, the machines and everything. Because if machines are very old, if machines are outdated, then what happens? They pollute more, they emit more poisonous gases, and a lot of waste is produced if the machines are old. So the first thing is to adopt the latest technology. Definitely cost will be incurred, but in the long run that will be beneficial. If you will upgrade your machineries, if you will upgrade the technology, definitely you will have to incur some, you have to bear some cost, but in the long run you will be successful. That is why we are studying about NTPC, because definitely this has incurred certain cost in order to, by adopting the latest techniques and technology, but since this is successful, that is why we are studying it. So it is very important to upgrade the technology, to use the latest version of the machines. Now the second step that has been taken by NTPC is minimizing waste generation by maximizing the ash utilization. Definitely, first of all, we have to minimize the waste generation. Whatever waste is generated, we have to see that whatever is generated, that should be minimized. Very less quantity, very less amount should be generated, and whatever is generated, we need to maximize its usage. For example, if ash is generated, for example, if coal is burnt, then definitely ash will be generated. So that ash can be used. How to use that in an efficient manner? And this industry has actually used it. That means ash can be used in several other industries like cement industry, fertilizer industry, So, we need to see that whatever waste is generated, that is minimum, and whatever is actually generated, the usage of that should be maximum. Optimum utilization of waste this has done. So, that is why this is an ideal example. The next step is providing green belts for nurturing the ecological balance. That means planting more and more trees, afforestation. Green belts means planting trees on either sides of the roads in order to increase the greenery. Why? In order to sustain the environment. If greenery will be there, if a lot of trees will be there, then definitely the ecological system will be balanced, it will be maintained. So, this is also very important step that has been taken by NTPC. The next method that is used by NTPC is ash pond management. Now, what is ash pond management? Ash pond management means managing and storing ash, not letting that ash mix in the environment. So, use that ash efficiently and effectively. Next is ash water recycling system. That means by recycling the water bodies where ash has been mixed, clearing or cleaning the water bodies. That is one method. Then the next one is liquid waste. Then the next one is liquid waste management and to reduce environmental pollution. That means treating the liquid from thermal plants, cooling the hot water that has been obtained from thermal plants and then discharging into the water bodies. So, these are the steps that have been taken by NTPC. Next is ecological monitoring, reviews, online database management for all its power stations. That means to check that everything is going in proper order or not. Taking reviews, continuous monitoring should be there. All the surveys should be proper. So, these are the steps that have been taken by NTPC in order to nurture the environment, in order to preserve the ecological balance, in order to maintain the ecological balance. That is why it is considered to be an ideal example, because it has taken all the proactive steps and measures to conserve, to preserve our environment. So, students, now we have come to the end of this chapter. I have explained all the topics. I have started with manufacturing, then I explained you about the importance of manufacturing, then classification of industries, how are industries classified, then I explained you in detail regarding agro based industries and mineral based industries. After that, I explained you about pollution, the industrial pollution and environmental degradation that is caused by industries, and after that the steps that can be taken to conserve the environment, and at last I explained you about NTPC. So, I hope the entire chapter is clear to everybody, all the topics, all the points are clear. Now, students, I will be discussing the questions that are given at the end of the chapter. So, we shall start with the question answers. So, the first question is answer the questions in not more than 30 words. So, let us start with question number 1. Question number 1 is what is manufacturing? Now, the chapter is all about manufacturing. The name of the chapter is manufacturing industries. So, what do you understand by manufacturing? I already told you in the first video of this chapter. In simple words, manufacturing means processing. So, manufacturing is the production of goods in large quantities. In large quantities, when the goods are produced after processing from raw materials to finished products or more valuable products. That means whenever we convert the raw materials to the finished products or more valuable products, that process is called as manufacturing. For example, sugar cane to sugar. Sugar is formed from or sugar is made from sugar cane. So, that is example. Then making of cotton shirts from cotton balls, that can be an example of manufacturing. So, I hope the definition of manufacturing or the meaning of manufacturing is clear to everybody. Now, students, we shall move to the next question. So, the next question is, name any 3 physical factors for the location of the industries. That means, what are the 3 factors that are required for locating an industry? So, the first point can be availability of raw materials. See, I already explained you in detail that availability of raw materials is the essential factor that is required for locating any industry. If raw materials will not be there, then there will not be any use of locating that industry, because if raw materials will be near to the industry, then transportation cost will be less, and as a result of which ultimately the cost of finished product will be less and the cost incurred by the producer will also be less. So, the first thing is availability of raw material at cheap cost. The second factor is availability of power and water supply. See, in order to operate any industry, electricity is needed. Not only electricity, but water is also needed for washing purpose and all. So, if continuous supply of electricity and water will be there, then only any industry can prosper. So, there should be continuous supply, that means erratic supply, cut that line. So, there should be continuous supply of electricity and water. The next factor is suitable climate. See, the climate of that place must also be suitable. See, if climate will not be suitable, then raw materials will not be available. If raw materials will not be available, then an industry cannot be located. So, these are the 3 factors that are required for locating any industry. Okay, let us move to the next question, question number 3rd. So, the third question is, name any 3 human factors for the location of an industry. The previous question was regarding the physical factors, and now we have human factors. So, the 3 factors are, first of all, capital. You need to see whether you have a small capital or big capital. I explained you on the basis of capital investment, large capital investment and small capital investment. Investment less than 1 crore is called as small capital investment, and investment of 1 crore or more than 1 crore is called as large capital investment. So, you need to see whether you have sufficient capital or not, and on the basis of the availability of capital, an industry can be set up. So, this is the first factor, capital. The second factor is availability of labor. You need to see that where you are locating your industry, the supply of labor is proper or not. You are able to get cheap labor or not. That is also an important factor. For example, if I talk about the jute textile industry that is located in West Bengal near Hooghly river, there in West Bengal that place is densely populated and adjoining states are also there. So, easily labor can be availed and also cheap labor can be availed, because population is more. If population will be more, then there will be need of work, people will want to work. So, this is very important factor, that is availability of cheap labor. And the third factor is closeness to the market. See, if I talk about the jute textile industry that is located in West Bengal, see, Kolkata or West Bengal, that is an urban center. That means it is very closely related to the market. So, one needs to see that whether market is close or not. The accessibility to market is close or it is far. So, these are the 3 factors, 3 human factors that are required for the location of an industry. I hope question number 3rd is clear to everybody. Now students, let's move to the next question, that is question number 4th. So the 4th question is, what are basic industries? Give an example. I already told you about basic industries. Basic industries are the industries which supply their products to manufacture other goods. See, they are the industries that supply their finished products as raw materials to other industries. For example, if I talk about iron and steel industry. So, in iron and steel industry, what is produced? Iron is produced and steel is produced. And that iron and steel is used as raw material in other industries. For example, if I talk about nuts and bolts, steel is needed. If I talk about iron nails, then in iron nails, what is needed? Iron is needed as raw material. So, the industries that provide their products, their finished products as raw materials to other industries to manufacture other goods, they are called as basic industries or key industries, and the example is iron and steel industry. Now students, the last question of this part, that is short answer questions. So the last question, that is question number 5th, is name the important raw materials that are used in the manufacturing of cement. So students, the important raw materials that are used in manufacturing cement are limestone, gypsum, silica and alumina. So these are the important raw materials that are used in the manufacturing of cement. So I hope all these questions are clear to everybody. Students, in the next video, I shall be explaining the long answer questions. Till then, thank you so much. Stay safe, work hard, and I'll meet you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much.